All right, class. We don't meet this first week, so I thought I'd go over some of the detail stuff, stuff that you have to have done by the end of this week. So this is kind of important. So we're going to begin with the basic intro that you would have gotten on Monday if we would have had class. So welcome, math lovers. Let's kind of get started, and hopefully this will. There we go. Okay, there we go. So our class meets in 16205. It is MAT 380, 3 to 445. My office hours are listed here. I'll also do a separate announcement with my office hours in just its own announcement. I do have special office hours for my math ed students, which you guys are. And that is Friday, 9 to 3 p.m. Do schedule an appointment for those, just because it's easier for me, also to make sure that I'm there and available for you. I do end at 3 because I have a class that starts at 3. So that's the reason. I don't have any other office hours on Friday, so it's really just for you guys. Please remember also, as we go through this, participation is not attendance. I do not give you points for being there. I give you points for participating in the class. There's a lot of activities in this class, and this class has a lot of stuff. This is a big class, so we'll kind of go into some of those too, some of those ideas. So first thing, you have initial knowledge check in Alex. You have access to Alex. It is accessed through your class resources, and it's due by this Friday. Treat it like a test. No notes, help of any kind. A calculator is help. Though if it gives you the option for a calculator on the right-hand side of Alex, you can click the button that has the calculator symbol. If that is available to you, please go ahead and use it if you need to. This is to see where your holds are. So even though you passed previous classes, you passed, your pre-calc class, you passed your calculus class, etc., there are holes in your knowledge, and we're trying to fill those because at the end of this semester, you should be ready to take your NES test. Here in Arizona, and most of the country uses the NES test. There's a few places that use Praxis, and there's even fewer still that use individual tests. Interestingly enough, all of them except the NES, which is the national certification. So even if you were, say, from Illinois and you wanted to take the Illinois test, that's great. Know that the Illinois test is only usable in Illinois. You can't move somewhere and then use that test. Whereas if you take the NES that we have here in Arizona and a lot of the other states do and pass it, it is usable in Illinois. It is usable in tons of other states. It is not usable it is actually usable in all of them. You will have to get an updated one. If you go to a state that uses Praxis or if you go to Illinois, it actually counts. You don't even need to retake the Illinois test. It is a 5 hour long, covering 972 various topics and concepts in mathematics. In Arizona and most of the rest of the country, 220 is what you need to pass. Um, it costs $119 to attempt the test, and 5 hours is a long time. It also is 150 questions, which basically means you get 2 minutes per question. That sounds like a lot, and on some questions you won't need 2 minutes. The problem is on some questions you will need 5. Yep. Uh, so please keep that in mind. The test prep that you will be doing in Alex, there's a few things that happen in Alex. So you take this initial knowledge check, we find out where your holes are, and we start filling those holes. You start working on your test prep homework, and it will immediately go to the stuff that you're ready to learn. So based on your initial knowledge check an honest attempt at the initial knowledge check. It's saying, oh, this is a hole for you, but you're not ready for that hole. But if you review this, you will be. So it'll give you those review things to bring you up to speed. Um, so that's what we're going to hope to do. And the first one is due by this Sunday. You will take a NES test prep. So not only do you have the initial knowledge check, and then if you want to review some of the things, you can. The test prep is over all 972 topics. No, I do not expect you to know 972 topics, which is why that first test is so low. It is only 60%. The first test is also the only one you can do outside of the Math Center. So test two, where you got to get 65, test three, where you got to do 70%, etc. You need to do those in the Math Center. And I will send them when they are due, when you have those, and when and the passwords, and you'll be able to go in anytime that week and take it. By the end of the week, by Friday at 5, it's over. So you need to be in there by 3 on Friday, because this is not a time test on these test preps. They're not timed. You're going to get 25, maybe 30 questions that are from anywhere in there, and you need on those to test at a particular level, which is listed there. So the last one being 90%. If you are doing the test prep homeworks, which are not required, those are a choice because you want to be better so you can pass the NES, which you do have to pass to student teach. You do have to pass to finish your program. So no matter what, you have to pass that. So this is not really a choice. You have to do it if you want to teach. And that is what you've all chosen to do. There's no lecture material on the NES stuff during the class. I will answer questions on that. There will be a 6 NES workshops throughout the semester. The first one being the 8th, and I'm sure I have a slide on that, so we'll get to that in a second. There is also in this class, there is textbook homework. Textbook homework, which is what I will be lecturing on, you just need to get to my office by Friday every other week. And it begins Friday, September 12th. So we're only going to have one lecture before that is due. So you're going to want to be looking at the slides, looking at announcements where I post these slides, and you're going to want to be doing some of these right away, like this week. You really want to start on it. These are due every other Friday, again, starting at September 12th. You just get it in there by close of day Friday, which would be 5 o'clock. And Friday, after I finish my other class that I lecture at 7, I will come by my office, pick them up, and start on that grading process. My office is 16321. Again, this is a lecture material. It should be neat and easy for me to read. If for whatever reason I share an office with another lecturer, he is not a math lecturer. Jake is not a math lecturer. So if he is there and you can just come in and sit at my desk, that's totally fine. If for whatever reason I'm not in my office, you're turning it in on Thursday or something where I teach all day, and he's maybe not in the office, you can slide it under the door. The faculty offices are accessible from Monday through Friday from 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. Sometimes they're open a little bit later, sometimes they're open earlier. It just depends, but for sure they should be open from 9 to 5 p.m. There's multiple DQs a week, and classroom participation make up the weekly participation. So you have to actually participate in the class and then the DQs. The DQs will often include textbook homework problems. Why do I do that? I want to make things as easy as I can for you. The textbook is the deeper understanding. The textbook questions are for when you get a student ask you a question after you've explained it one way, and they want you to explain it a different way. That means you need to understand it a different way. You need to have multiple ways to understand every math concept that you are supposed to teach. That means at the high school level, which is the for secondary, the maximum that you guys might be teaching, you need to understand every one of those concepts in multiple ways. So you have to have a deeper understanding. You're teaching the concept, but not everybody gets it in every way. You guys have already had this where you guys understand something one way, but maybe the teacher explains it a different way and you didn't understand that. But so you have to make that connection with your students. So this is why the textbook homework, most the about two-thirds of this course is that deeper understanding, so you can explain it differently. So I do include a lot of the textbook homework problems in my DQs. There's two benchmarks in this class and a faith short essay using faith in the workplace. Yes, I know that you might be teaching at a public school and you may think, well, faith doesn't integrate itself well. That's not true. Your faith affects your morals and your ethics. Therefore, it does affect how you teach. And then the big thing is there's an analysis of student work presentation. That is a big deal. We will be talking about that a lot. And actually, you have an assignment due this week on that. This is where you are going to present to the class. You're going to get an assigned question and you're going to present some topics, um, some course stuff. You're going to see student work. We'll kind of go over that a little bit more too. But you're going to give me some stuff today or this week after you've watched this video. Some other course policies. So if you're feeling ill, don't come to class. Contact me ahead of time and contact SDS, right? SDS is the only official approval process. And that's how you get absences approved. You guys are not new students. You're not freshmen. You guys know that there's a limit. So please make sure that you're using that. Also be aware that I don't have to give you back points. I have to give you a makeup participation. And my makeup participations are usually more involved than the actual participation in class. Participation in class is commenting, talking to me, having a discussion, an open discussion with your classmates about the concepts we're talking about. That's all you got to do. We're lecturing on it. It's open. It's easy. The makeup is usually not. It's something outside the box. So please keep that in mind. Also, the material that's covered is your responsibility to learn. Technology. So, all right, no headphones or earbuds. Basically, nothing that uses Bluetooth. And the reason for that is I wear hearing aids. And if you've ever noticed your grandparents smiling while they're in the room and you're doing whatever, watching something or whatever, it's because they got to hear some of it. Yeah. Now you're all wondering about what you're listening to. Don't listen to that stuff. That's bad. Yeah, so we hear stuff. It randomly picks up. It's not like I'm listening in on your conversation. I don't even get a whole conversation. I get words. But it's very distracting when you're trying to listen to someone talk and answer a question and someone else has a Bluetooth playing and you pick up a song or part of a video that they're watching or whatever. It's distracting. So please don't have those active while you're in the classroom. Laptops are permitted as long as you're using them to take notes, follow along with examples and that we are working on. I walk around the classroom, so if I see something else up, you're going to get in trouble. Don't do that. Uh, Use of laptops or phones for activities not related may cost you participation points. Late work policy, you guys should already know this. This is in your handbook, 10% per day late. Presentations cannot be made up unless you have an SDS excused absence, and then we will work that in. Those become problematic to work in because they are on particular topics we've been covering. So we can do it. It's just more difficult to do, and you're talking about stuff we're not actually talking about in the class because you're doing it later. So it's doable, just not ideal. So this some announcements. The College of Humanities and Social Sciences, if you are in math secondary ed, that's the college you belong to. You do not belong to the College of Ed. You actually, your degree is from us. So our kickoff, and I know this is usually freshmen, but a lot of you did not go to our college kickoff. You went to the college kickoff of College of Ed. And probably because you were in an education class and thought that's where you belonged, you actually belong in ours. So I'm going to invite all of you to Wednesday, September 17th, 11 a.m. GCU Arena. I would book like 11 to 12:30. It's usually done before then, but let's say 11 to 12:30. And you have an opportunity to meet the College of Humanities and Social Sciences leadership, faculty, and fellow students in your program. So this is a great opportunity um, and a great network opportunity. You'd be surprised how many people you get to network with that provide jobs later on. I have previous students that are now working at Tolleson and Kyrene and other places because they worked with people that I worked with previously. So they networked with uh, instructors that I've taught and worked with. So please take this opportunity to network there at the college kickoff. Also, the NES workshops are in our classroom right afterwards. So it starts at 5 on 9/8, 9/22, 10/6. And if you don't know, there are different domains for the mathematics that is covered. I go into all of that details in the intro one. And as an added bonus, this is a big bonus this semester, I have a $75 voucher for the NES, and I will give away a voucher code for $75 off your NES. I will only do that to someone who has attended all 6 workshops. So at the end of this, November 17th, at the end of that particular workshop, I will take every student that has been at every one of these. They will be in a drawing and I will randomize it, and one of you will win this voucher. And I'll make sure you get the voucher that day so you can schedule to take your NES maybe the following week or the week after. Some other things with the NES. If you attempt the NES by the end of this class, I will take one of your NES test preps and turn it to, I will take, nope, I will take 2 of them and I will turn them to 100%. So I'm going to assume everyone's going to get 100% on that 60, probably 65. Then they'll start seeing some lower scores, not low scores, but probably in the 90s. By the time you're trying to get 90% of 972 topics, that's a lot. Though you're not tested on each one, I can test on one topic that requires knowledge of 3 or 4 underneath of it. And that's what I'll do. And that's what the ALEC system will do. So you need to show 90%. Those are harder to do. I have students on a regular score in the 80. If they've been working diligently in the 80s and 90s on that one, it is tough. I've had some hundreds, but I've also had students who haven't been dedicating the time to it and they get in the 60s, and I've even seen 40s. So um, it'd be nice to have at least that one and one other one moved to 100%. So if you take it and do not pass, this is if you just attempt it and don't pass, um, you would get 2 of those moved to 100%. If, on the other hand, you attempt it and pass, I don't care what you got on them, even if you didn't take one of the NES test preps because time got away from you and you didn't get to it, I will, and you have a 0 there, I will change all of them to 100%. There are 7 NES test preps throughout the semester. All 7 of those would move to 100% if you take the NES and pass. So that's a huge bonus, a huge reason to plan this workshop. Assume it'll start at 5. It's going to run probably till 6. Might be a little bit later, might be a little bit earlier. Just depends on the day and questions. So that's what we're shooting at. Week one, DQ1, I want you to take a selfie outside of my office. You'll see that there. And then outside of the Math Center, 16202. You'll put them in a Word document. There's a little bit more to it on yours. You have to give me a little bit more, but that's basically what it is. And that is due, I think, I don't remember, but I think by Friday. So please, whether I'm there or not, you just snap a picture. My office does not say that now. It is 16321, but now it says Jake and Garvin. So it's got Jake's name and my name. I don't remember who's his first. I don't really care. So that is this week's DQ, one of this week's DQs that is due. Oops. No, 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 no. I went too far. Go back. Let me go back one. There we go. Okay. So these are all the topics. And when the NES, when your analysis of student work presentation is due. Now you'll see no names here. I'm going to randomize that and then I'm going to fill this in. So when I post this video, you're going to see it just like this. I'm going to do this at the end of the video, so you guys are going to see it happen. I just use random.org and I'm going to randomize the list. I've already put everybody in there alphabetically, and then I'm going to hit randomize and you're going to go in here. That'll tell you when you need to do one of these questions. The problems are listed and you can see them there, 2.8.1, 2.8.2, etc. You will have to choose in each one of those problems in the book. You have access to the textbook through Halo, is at least 5 students. All of them have most of them have 6 to 10 students. You will pick 5. I don't care which 5, you get to choose, except for problem 3.6.2. You have to choose 4 and number 8, student 8. Other than that, I don't really care which 4 you choose, but I like number 8, and I think it's interesting to hear different students' explanations of that student's choices, different future teachers' explanations of that student's decision to do what they did. You're going to analyze the work. You're going to look at whether they got it correct, whether they got it incorrect. What type of question was this? Was this a homework question? Was this a quiz question? Was it an exam question? How would you grade it? What pieces were worth what points? So you're going to talk about all of that. You're going to give me the feedback you would have given the student of each one of these students. And you're going to do this in a presentation that you're going to share with the class when we get to these dates. Okay. All right. So let me go to the next one, which is continuing on this. So I post slides pretty regularly. I'll even post the slides we go over in the class, but please, sometimes I don't do it right away. I leave our class at 5 o'clock. And then some days I go right into as you saw, I go right into the NES workshop. So it'll be, probably after 7, 8 o'clock by the time I get home. That makes it very difficult. I forget to do it, and then the next day is a busy day. So it just happens. Please know I'm here. I'm genuinely on campus most days. Wow. Either 10-hour days or 12-hour days. I don't do little bits of time. Monday through Friday, I'm pretty much involved at GCU for 10 to 12-hour days. So keep that in mind. If I need a reminder, please just, message me a reminder and I will get them up. If it's been 2 days and I haven't got them up, I need a reminder. Okay. For the analysis of student work presentation instructions, let's do this 7th, this Sunday. You're going to submit which problem you were assigned, which student's work you will be analyzing. Remember, you have to choose 5. When we do the presentations, when you guys do the presentations, the class is going to peer evaluate each other. Peer evaluating each other helps you improve as a presenter and as an instructor. So please understand that. I get peer evaluated on a regular basis. I actually invite teachers into my classes to peer evaluate me because I am always working on improving. When I become stagnant, it's no good. Anybody who becomes stagnant is a waste. At that point, you're not producing good, positive results in your students, and you're not willing to be open to improvements. So please, now, some people don't peer evaluate very well. It is a trait that you need to learn. I want you guys to learn how to do that. Okay. All right. So that's that. Let me open I'm still showing the screen. Good. Let me go right here. Here's random.org. I've already put everybody in the class, and this is everybody as of today. Um, some of you I know, like I've seen you, I've met you, we've met, I've had classes with some of you. Some of you I haven't, and that's okay too. So I will meet you, we will talk. Let's randomize. Okay, now let's see if I can just copy this. This would be amazing if I can. And you're going to see where you are in the list. And let's see if I can put you right into my slide. Da, da. I think it's there. Let's try it. Control V. Dang it. Put them all on one. That's okay. Undo. I can fix that. And yep, I do this right in front of my students on purpose. I want you guys to know this is not like I did something weird to come up with it. I just genuinely randomized. And if you haven't used random.org, it is a great tool in your toolbox. We'll talk about tools in your toolbox as an educator. You should have many tools in your toolbox. Ah, I don't want that. Yeah, I do want that. And then I can do this. What's the font of this? Man, don't like that. There we go. Now, when I copy this, it should. Let me just put you guys in. Control C. Go back to my slides. There we go. Not. There we go. Why are you being difficult? Booyah. Okay. So we do have Lucas, you will be, that sucks. So here's the advantages. One, you guys are going to do what we've already talked about, and I'll clean that up so it looks a little better, but you guys can see it. Um, Lisa and Josh, right? I think that's the Robert that goes by Josh. I'm pretty sure. Um, anyway, you guys are presenting first at the end of September. So you guys aren't really gonna get all the you're not gonna get to see other people present. So you're gonna be presenting first, which means it may not be what I was hoping for. It may not be what I expected. Um, but you're going to get comments. You're going to get feedback from your classmates, but you're also going to get feedback from me. So you're going to know what I'm expecting, what I want to see, and everybody's going to get some of that as they learn what what the teacher's looking for, right? What you guys are going to see what's expected. And this assignment isn't due till like the second to the last week. Um, the final, the instructions that you're going to give me, like I mentioned, so the 5 students you're doing, which problem you were assigned, which you can now see, you're going to give me that by Sunday, or Friday, whatever day it is, it's due this week. Everyone else, so you guys are going to have the most feedback and you're going to have plenty of time to make your changes. Then we're going to get down here. Lucas, I'm sad. You're going to have all that feedback. You're going to know what is expected. So you're going to get less feedback from me on like how to improve because you're going to have taken what I've said to other classmates and done closer to what the ideal one is. You may get a little, you'll probably get some from your classmates, which is totally fine. You're going to have the least amount of time to make changes because if I recall, yours it's due the week you present. So you present and then it's due that Friday or that Sunday. So you're going to have the least amount of time to make changes, but you're going to have the least amount of changes to do. Lisa and Robert, you're going to have the most amount of changes to do, but you're going to have also the most amount of time to do them. When you guys submit at the end, I want you to submit 100%, right? I want it to be easy. You're getting the most points. So this is one of the reasons we do this. I will post this. I will actually post just that chart in the announcements also. So you guys will all have this. It'll be available through the end of the semester. You'll be able to look at this video and find it also. All right. A lot of work's due this week. Again, you should be reading the first couple chapters. You should be, this is a 300 level class. I want to be clear. This is not a 200 level class. It's not a 100 level class. At this point, this is the stuff for your bachelor's. This is like you've gotten through the stuff that would be an associate's level. Now we're pushing you into the stuff that would be a bachelor's level so you get your degree. There's a lot of work in this class, a lot of prep to get there. We're going to really hammer home the NES. I want you guys to all take it and pass by the end of the semester. So when you go into your classes beyond this one, you like your capstone class and stuff, no matter what happens when things get hard, you've already finished your NES certification. Like that part is done. So even if you struggle through I don't know, maybe a statistics class or you're struggling through, I don't know, linear algebra or something like that, and maybe you're thinking, man, I don't know. I don't know if I can get through this. It's okay. You've already got this done. You can do the other hard thing. It's not as hard as this. It's not a 5 hour test. It's not like I have students that'll say, "Oh no, I have plenty of time. I just, could go to the bathroom, get them to drink." Most students tell me I was running out of time, and that seems to be the biggest challenge. So we'll talk about that at the workshop. We'll talk about study tips and other ideas. All right, I think let me go open the Zoom. I think that's everything. Stop sharing that I wanted to cover on that. So you guys have everything for the beginning of this week. I'm going to make another video, which is that first lecture that you guys would have had, not just this intro stuff. So you guys are prepared to start on the homework that is written and is due not this week, but next week. Remember to do your Alex initial knowledge check. Remember to do the first scheduled knowledge check or NES test prep where you need to get 60%. Try not to use a calculator unless one is provided. That way you're using the digital calculator. On the NES, you only get the digital calculator and only when it pops up. So I want you guys to think like that. Think like you're preparing for a test because that's really what you're doing. And then the other stuff is all the written homework. And again, you'll see some of that in the slides that I do for those and as we go through the semester. All right, you guys, if you have a question, please message me on Halo and I will get back with you as soon as possible. All right, have a wonderful day. See you guys in class.